What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. We had a couple of weeks off. We obviously had Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to all you people. And then Seal was on vacation, or not vacation, but somewhere else.
Yeah,
So we're recording a little bit later this week as well. But it just meant that some stuff racked up. But before we get to everything, Seal, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it was more of a mental vacation. Sucks to say, baby girl lost her father on Monday after 11-month battle to cancer, and I'd say he won. And the words of Stuart Scott, he did a lot. He beat the odds. 6 months was a odd breaker, and just along the way, the man showed how strong and determined he was, and he lived till he couldn't anymore. And have a lot of love for the man, a lot of respect for him, and yeah, it was nice to go see where he grew up, and to kind of see the roots of where baby girl comes from, and just to see her bonding with just the area and her uncle and all that stuff. It was a much needed escape, and definitely ready to move up there. I am absolutely serious about it, as way more than she is, and it's been an awesome week of just reflecting, and just realizing this life is very much so precious.
Yeah, man. Every day, you can't take any day for granted, and people talk about it, and everybody knows that they do take days for granted. But when stuff happens, it's just like, damn, like that's real. And to dovetail off that, the reason I'm just in a shirt today, just a UCF shirt. I don't have any jerseys. I don't have anything like that. I have the background thing, but we wanted to give prayers up, obviously, to your girlfriend's parents and all of that family and everything, but also a former UCF Knight, somebody we watched a lot, not in person, or I saw him a couple games, but Otis Anderson Jr., one of the best running backs that we've ever had. He finished second in school history in yards per attempt, which I think he was like 6.1 yards per carry or something like that. He was shot dead. It wouldn't matter if he's a superstar or anything, but that's just who he was. He was shot dead by his own father at their house over a dumbass argument that is just, and obviously we don't know the inner workings. We just know what the moms was telling us, but just over something stupid. And there's no good reason to shoot anyone, but there are definitely worse reasons, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
But it's just, we want to bring our prayers up to those guys. We never like starting on sad notes or ending on sad notes, but when stuff like that happens, you got to at least address it. And I know as an alumni, it hurts me. He wasn't there when I was there, but as an alumni, I follow these teams. I watch these teams all the time, and it definitely hurts. I got a lot of friends at UCF, and everybody's feeling it just a little bit. He was one of the best ones, and so it's always sad to say, like, oh man, I watched that kid a lot, and now he's gone before he even got started. So it's really sad.
From all the stories people tell and every before, and I feel like Otis was one of those people who was able to see the impact he had on people before he passed away. Baby girl touched on it a little bit. Like, it sucks that's probably the worst thing about somebody's death, is that they're not able to see the impact that they have on these people. Well, Otis was such a caring person, cared about the fans, cared about the university, and he showed that. He was always out doing events, showing face, saying hey to all the fans, taking pictures with the babies. One of our OGs, Eddie, has a picture with his firstborn with Otis a couple years ago. And that's just who Otis was. He was a really caring person, and everybody was very thankful to that. And that's something I'm sure is probably awesome for him, knowing the impact that he did have before he passed away. But it sucks, man. The guy was so impactful and had a bright future. Maybe not as an NFL running back, but you could tell no matter what that kid did, it was going to be gold. And there was all passion coming from him, and it just sucks.
And you could also just tell how many people loved him just by the outpouring of love across the community. And that 2017 team that he was a part of that won the Peach Bowl, beat Auburn, claimed national championship, he was part of that undefeated run. And Mackenzie Milton came down, Marlon Williams came down, all these people came down to show their respects. They put his jersey up on the field, and people were able to come down to the field and pay their respects to him. And most of the people, at least not the ones that are in the NFL, but the ones that were able to come, came down and paid their respects from that team. And that's love, man. That's brothers. That's people that are never gonna grow out of it. And you just see the impact when they come and stop their lives immediately to come down and make sure that something's done about this, to have some sort of memorial. And that's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, but we are going to jump into actual sports because we have a lot to talk about. We're not going to get to all of it. We have too much. But since we're talking about college football, let's stay in college football for just a second. Let's talk about all these coaching things that are just a whirlwind going on right now. First off, let's talk about some of the ones that are filled. The big one, Lincoln Riley to USC and Brian Kelly to LSU. Both of these schools said that they were blindsided, but Notre Dame definitely seemed blindsided. First of all, just like the shakeup here, did they need to go? Is USC one a better job than Oklahoma, and is LSU a better job than Notre Dame? Why did these two coaches leave?
Lincoln Riley, money. It's all money. Brian Kelly, realizing what he'll be able to do as an SEC team. He already took the nod saying, hey, Notre Dame's a playoff team. They are going to be a playoff team next year. But that's all Notre Dame is going to be able to be as an independent or ACC affiliate, whatever it is. They don't have the same strength of schedule. They have to go undefeated. One loss to them kills them, and he's able to understand that they'll always be looking into getting the playoffs. No real realistic chance of winning it because they're going to be the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Every time in the playoffs, and they're always going to get knocked off by the number 1 team. It's just always going to happen for Notre Dame. That's just the way it is. They've reached a cap. I agree. He won't come out saying that, but in the inner linings of what he's said, yeah, they reached a cap, and he'll be able to do more at LSU. And also, he was really smart. He's going to get all of his money if they fire him after winning a championship. That's a hella smart thing to do because hey, thanks, bye. Yeah. Let's go Tigers, Ed. Thank you, but you like all of our students. Bye. So it's a smart clause in his contract. But the whole Lincoln Riley thing, that's all money. There's no way in hell he has a better chance to win a national championship in the next 2 to 3 years at USC than he does at Oklahoma. And I think he just realized the shit show that he started over there. They have no real quarterbacks.
Right.
The Heisman favorite was a dud. That's all coaching. Yeah, he was ass. Caleb Williams came out looking great, but then he got into the system, and the coaching system there sucks. So that team just sucked it up. And he had to get out of there before he caused that team to really fire him. So that was a smack in the face to Oklahoma, got him out of town right before they were able to fire him next year.
And now he gets to go sit on the coast sipping Mai Tais, rolling in his $110 million contract with no problems, no problems in the world. All he's got to do, he doesn't have a better team or a better time to win a championship, but all he has to do is beat Oregon, and he gets to win the Pac-12. And yeah, Oklahoma won the Big 12 every single year, essentially, unless Oklahoma State or Baylor could jump in there. But they basically won every single year and got a little bit of love. They lost in the first round of the playoffs every single time that they made it. But in USC, it's better in the sense that if he wins the Pac-12, he'll probably be in the playoff, unless it's a couple losses. But USC is one of those Clemson type teams that just because they're USC, see, if Oregon wins, it's not necessarily the case because they lost a tough game to Stanford, and then obviously the second game. But with USC, it won't matter. It'll be, oh yeah, they're USC and they're the champs, and he'll push them in. So in that sense, it's equal in the fact that he's going to have an equal chance to make the playoffs, but he's not going to win the championship anytime soon. I agree with you there. But yeah, if he gets to sit on the coast as opposed to shoveling snow out of his lawn in Oklahoma or whatever it is you do there,
I don't job all day. And I don't believe a lot of people were saying that he's scared of the SEC. I don't think he was going to make it another 3 years at Oklahoma to even get to the SEC with them. I don't think it has anything to do with that. And I just saw on my phone, apparently Brian Kelly's accent has changed going from up there in Indiana or wherever Notre Dame is down here to old Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's got a little Southern accent coming out already. Don't know where the guy grew up. But we both know when we go to Palaca and hear those people start talking, it kind of starts coming back a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and his job, I agree with you 100%. It's just about optics, the way to win. Notre Dame is way too high pressure. It's like you said, it's undefeated or bust, and LSU is not. The SEC is just simply not. You almost always have one loss champ in the SEC, and as long as you become a champ, you're in. You could be a 2-loss champ and probably be in. Not that that's going to happen anytime soon with the strength of the SEC, but you can.
Next week.
So no, it would be a 1-loss champ. It could be
It's
a 2-loss.
Alabama, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoever
never mind,
wins
right.
would be
Yeah,
the
you're
champ.
right. I'm
So.
stupid.
But
Yeah.
Alabama, to your point, which we could talk about when we get to the predictions later on in the podcast. But yeah, if they lose, they still have a shot, that's just what's so crazy. That's the SEC. That's what the LSU Tigers are going in. All they have to do is beat Alabama, and if they lose one of their like weird East games to Florida or to Georgia or something like that, but they beat Alabama, they beat Auburn, they make it into the Western side with 1 loss, they're good to go. And that's going to be a lot of pressure off of his resume there. And the money's going to be the same. I don't know what it was, 95 million. I don't know what he was making at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't think
it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's going to, he's a rich man. He's going to be a rich man until the day he dies. And then his kids and his kids are also going to be rich. So that wasn't really a big deal. I'm excited to see that. I think Brian Kelly's a great coach. I think he's been a great coach since day one that I know of him, because he was Oregon, right? That's when I first heard about him. And then going to Notre Dame and going to LSU, he's going to be fine. Success is going to follow him wherever he goes. But now let's talk about something that just got filled right around the same time, maybe a little after. But I'm less excited about it. I don't know how you feel, but Napier going to Florida. What are your thoughts there as a fan?
I don't know too much. We've started to see a lot about the Raging Cajuns here in the last couple of years, and I guess it's due to this guy. And he was a hot commodity. It looks like
he was Clemson, right?
I have no idea. I think he's off of the Dabo tree, but yeah, he's brought Louisiana Raging Cajuns up to where they're actually on ESPN every once in a while. Yeah. We've talked about them a little bit.
We pick them as upset picks every now and then.
And they've had draft picks come out in the first 3 rounds here in the last couple of years. So yeah, I like it a hell of a lot more than where Dan Mullen was going with the team. And the team's not bad. We don't have people leaving. We don't have people dropping, going into the transfer portal like a lot of these other coaching vacancies getting filled here soon, or have been filled or need to be filled off. 15 of those teams going around right now. Right. A lot of those people are in the transfer portal. Shit. Shout out DG entering the transfer portal for you, UCF. Good riddance to you. Yeah. Thank you for the 70 touchdowns that didn't do shit for us. Have a good one. Sorry, just had to get that one out there.
It's all right. Bo Nix is going to be our savior. I don't know, but
wouldn't that be some shit?
He's probably coming, bro. I'm telling you.
That'd be some shit. But anyways, I like it a lot. Like I said, a lot more than where Dan Mullen was. I feel like we were going to be stagnant for a couple of years until he finally just gave up the reins. So for us to come out and do that again, echoing off of 2 weeks ago, that's amazing. I like this pick up for the fact that nobody's talking bad about it. The people that are in the know and know all the college football coachings and all that shit. We don't care about the coaches. We care about the players and who's going to win us the games and all that shit. Right. And all the people that know about the coaches, this is a great pickup, and it's really going to help us out with recruiting and stuff. And that's all I care about. Florida owns recruiting in Florida, and It hasn't been that in the last 5-10 years now. And it really pisses me off. So I'm ready to get back to that.
I'm a little nervous for the sheer fact that I think this is a smart hire, but I don't know if it's a fan's hire. I don't think he's going to be somebody that comes in and wins the SEC championship next year or the year after. I think it's an organizational hire where they're trying to build this culture back, because we had 2 or 3 coaches in a row that brought this thing down. Dan Mullen wasn't one of them, in my opinion, but that really brought the whole culture just overall going down. Dan Mullen came, but he was like a little spark plug. It jumped us up and then went right back to where the culture is.
It reminds me of a Ron Zook back in the day, trying to get a spark back from the Spurrier days. And he did a little bit for the first couple of years.
He did his thing. Yeah.
He ended up being loved by the fans. on his last game against Florida State. I believe they won that game, and they won it for Zook. And he ended up being beloved. And I feel like this could end up being kind of the same thing. And that ended up getting us to Muschamp, I believe. And then, that ended up getting us to Urban. Right after that, Urban came to us.
The guy
and
follow the guy. That's what you do, man.
So hopefully this works out. This is a lot better than a Muschamp pickup. We're not getting a coordinator.
Or that other guy that I can't even remember his name.
Yeah.
The Colorado State guy.
Yeah, fuck
whatever he was.
Yeah, I forget his name.
McClendon, MacArthur,
Georgia Southern,
something. Yeah, I don't know what he was.
But anyways, yeah, we're not getting a coordinator from a big school.
Right.
We're getting a coach that comes from a great tree and is really good at recruiting, and that's really what I care about right now. We need to get these boys back coming to Florida. It's ridiculous how many people that are 2 hours away from Gainesville that go to UCF, that go to Miami, that go to fucking FAU.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane how big these schools have gotten, these lesser schools in Florida, because Florida slipped up on recruiting.
Yeah, for sure. And he's going to hopefully bring some people from Louisiana, not necessarily the school, but that hotbed that he's probably been working in for a few years now. We know that every state has their own thing. Florida has speed. California has the quarterbacks. Texas has the big giant people. Louisiana has a little bit of that, a little bit of the big. We can fix our offensive line. We can fix our defensive line. We can get those nasty dudes in. So we recruit speed. That's what we do because that's what's right near us. But to be able to get in a separate hotbed and maybe get a little bit of strength with our speed could make us a very lethal combination. So I'm happy about that different recruiting aspect to say, like, yeah, come take Florida back, but don't forget that Louisiana pipeline that you've been building up. And I'm excited to see those guys. I mean, you see LSU every year, they know how to run. They're a running game because of their line. So I'm excited about that. And then the last one, because I don't think there's any more, at least not that are headline news, but filling Notre Dame. I don't care about Oklahoma, but filling Notre Dame. They're talking about the assistant coach, and he seems to be the front runner. But Luke Fickell is, of course, in the mix. Cincinnati is getting that UCF treatment where every single time a big school opens up, their coach is going to be the top name on the list. That just comes with the program. I'd be in the best group of 5 schools. So I wish we were the best group of 5 school, but I don't envy this part of it. What do you think? If you're a fan of Cincinnati, I don't think Luke Fickell's leaving, but how do you wrap your head around being one of those programs that, man, now we're going to fucking go undefeated and our coach is at 10 other schools this summer?
I don't think he's going anywhere. And the only case I have is if he does, that means that he stayed because of Ritter. Ritter was his guy. And Ritter is not that good of a quarterback. Ritter fits in that system, yes. He can put any quarterback, I feel like, because of Ritter, that's over 6'4", can fit over the offensive lineman with just hitting the dump passes that come across. That's all you have to be able to do in that system. Hike. That's it. That's for me. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Cincinnati games, but that's what that would tell me, is that Ritter was his guy, and once he left, he didn't think that there was too much more he could do with Cincinnati without him. So he's going to go to where he can build a program up, not because of one guy. I don't believe that whatsoever. I think he's not going to be a lifer, maybe per se, of Cincinnati. He might go back to his roots here eventually, but I don't think Luke Fickell's the type of guy who, I think he's just too headstrong and too determined, and he's not leaving Cincinnati until they're at least, if they win a national championship this year, he's not going anywhere.
Right.
Will he go somewhere in the next couple of years right after that? Yeah.
I think he's holding out for his roots. Like you just said, he's holding out for that Scott Frost deal. He wants to go to Ohio State. And obviously Ohio State's not firing their coach. If you're listening and you're an Ohio State fan, that's not happening. But Luke Fickell's looking at, he wants to go to Ohio State. That's, of course, where he would love to go. That's his roots. That's where he's at. And the stage is beginning to be set. And again, Ohio State's not losing their guy, but they now are a 2-loss, don't even get to play in the Big Ten championship. That's a fail. Being Florida fans for so long, you get used to it. That's a fail. And he's a great coach, and they're going to be great, and they're going to be great in the future, but you got to bounce back. It's already step one. That was strike one, missing the championship this year. And I don't care that they're ranked 7 or whatever they're ranked. It's a fail of a season in the fans' eyes. So if he strings together a couple of these, then Luke Fickell could be right there ready to go. And I think that's part of why he doesn't want to leave Cincinnati, because he wants to be ready if they do have to pull the trigger. Because, I mean, literally, if they start out 2-2 next year, they could fire their coach for no reason. But Day is pretty set, because I think they're going to bounce back and go undefeated next year, or close to it. But this was strike one, I think, for Ohio State, and Fickell wants that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's going to move up and go anywhere right now. If Cincinnati wasn't doing good, yeah, absolutely not. But he knew years ago when they slated this schedule that he knew where he wanted to be. He met with the AD. He told them the vision. He said, set the fucking schedule. We're going to be able to roll through these people. Unfortunately, a couple of those people weren't as good as they should have been. Right. But they rolled through them. His vision is set. He knows what he wants to do, and I don't think he's going anywhere at all.
I think actually next year was the year that he said anyway. Because I don't follow Cincinnati and I don't watch Cincinnati a whole lot. I don't know what their schedule is next year, but if I remember when we beat them like 70-0 in 3 quarters or whatever, and then the Cyclone like ended the game, they interviewed him and he said 2022, which maybe he means the championship would be played in 2022. So maybe he means this year. But he said 2022 was the team he's looking forward to the most. So that might be either this year or next year. We'll see. Hopefully it's not next year. But right. So he does have a plan. Just like you said, he came. When you get hired on, you bring a plan to these schools, and it's not just a 1-year plan. He probably brought out a nice 5-year, 6-year, 10-year plan, and it's going perfectly for him. And so I mean, I'm excited about it. I wish we were better than Cincinnati, but I'm excited that competition's ramping up, and when we go to the Big 12, we're not going to be a bunch of duds. We're going to have good showings.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's move on. We'll come back around to the NCAA football to do our picks there at the end, because I like to save that for the end. But there's a lot more stuff going on. Let's shift. Let's stay in football for just a little bit. And let's talk about the NFL. We got some crazy action, some stuff happening, injuries happening, all this stuff. But right in the middle of it, as always, is Antonio Brown. It came out a couple weeks ago that his chef said that he faked the COVID report. It comes out after an investigation, which I guess he did. So he's now suspended. But I'm not surprised. It's AB. But
there's a couple other people.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What does suck is he's not going to be the only one at that point. I didn't read the news. Are the other people already named?
Last Chance U, John Franklin.
Oh, well, screw him.
And he's a free agent wide receiver, but I just know John Franklin III. That was the Last Chance U kid,
right.
And then safety Mike Edwards, whoever the hell that is.
But it's just like what sucks is the Bucks. Oh, I did my quotes over the wrong thing. The quote shouldn't be over Bucks. The Bucks did their due diligence on all these things, and clearly they were wrong. So how many other just Buccaneers, when they said there's 100% vaccination? What sort of due diligence did they actually do if he's able to bring these false things? I'm not worried about AB being out. Doesn't matter. We've still been winning without him. I don't really care. Obviously Tom Brady loves him, but what sort of bigger picture does this show? Is this strike 3 for Antonio Brown? He's had multiple strikes already.
No.
So he's just going to come. Talent wins out every time, right?
I don't think this is anything serious, dude. Honestly, yes, it's fraud. It's falsifying documents and all that shit. But this whole vaccine, like that goes to show that the shit means nothing. He's not vaccinated. He hasn't had to go through he hasn't taken tests. When he has taken tests, he's negative. He's around everybody. Like, it just goes to show to me in my eyes, and we don't talk politics on this fucking show. Sometimes we do. It's usually when I go on.
When it happens around sports.
Yeah. But it just goes to show we still, a year and a half into this thing, don't know how to control, one, what we think we can do to be able to find the virus, and two, it doesn't matter how much you do, it's going to do it on its own. Like, you thought that AB was vaccinated, so he was able to do everything, and in your eyes, that's why no, come to find out, that's not right. He gave you the placebo effect, and you were wrong, and it just an unvaccinated player being treated as a vaccinated player for over half the season. And he's not going to get as much flack as Aaron Rodgers did about misconstruing the public eye into thinking he was immunized, which means vaccinated to some people. But it just goes to show this whole thing is fucking confusing as hell, and we don't understand any of it. But I don't think that's just a bro, that was dumb as fuck. That's like getting caught that's like getting caught with a fake dick during a piss test. Like, really, dude? All right, now give me the real test. So now it's like, really, dude? All right, now that we know,
now go get actually vaccinated or
now, exactly.
No, it's kind of ridiculous, but like you said, it's so hard, and obviously they have to have rules. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say which rules I think are right, wrong, or indifferent, but they have to have rules. But then there's ways around these stupid rules. Just basically being LeBron James is one way around the rules. I don't know if you saw that, but he got a positive test. And then I guess since then he's got multiple negative tests because they think it was a false positive that he got in Sacramento. But if it was not LeBron James, I feel like no positive test just means 10 days, period. But LeBron can now go get these negative tests, and now he's going to be playing tomorrow because he was able to get negative tests. And I think that's how it should be. Whatever. Fuck. If you get negative tests, go play. I don't care.
Yeah, like right now LeBron's at his son's game.
Yeah. Because he's able to test negative. Whereas if, I don't know, Landry Shamet got a positive test, it's boom, 10 days, dude. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you bring us. You're staying your 10 days. And it's just like, come on, man. But no, I like the way that LeBron did it. I think that's the way. If you start to test negative, all right, come back to work. That's what Dana White's going to do. He tested positive. He is vaccinated, by the way, all you guys that think the UFC is just a crazy conspiracy man sport thing, but he is vaccinated. But he still just said, I'm going to chill. I feel fine. I'm working out. As soon as I get a negative test, I'm coming back. And that's the way it should be. Yeah. Take your whatever medications you want to take. Again, I'm not trying to get political. If you want to take the vaccination, if you want to take horse dewormer, if you want to take the human form that people think is still a horse dewormer, if you want to get vitamin drips, I don't care what the fuck you do. But once you start testing negative, all right, go on, go back out, do your thing. Yeah. But I don't know. It's crazy, dude. But I just think because he's Antonio Brown, he might get a little bit more flack than normal. But that's just because he's shown that he's just an idiot, and he continues to be an idiot. And if you're gonna be an idiot, dude, keep your circle tight, bro.
Right.
Don't be telling everybody. Don't brag about stuff, man. If you have people for a reason. If I have a secret that I'm trying to break the law or do something, there's certain people I'd tell. Like if I had to tell somebody, if I was like, oh, I gotta tell somebody. I'm telling. I'm not gonna go tell the waitress at a freaking. Not that that's what we told, but I'm not gonna tell the waitress at a restaurant. I'm gonna keep my circle tight.
Yeah, that sucks if he did say that in confidence and trust in somebody that he thought was in his circle. Well, it's an ex-personal chef, so obviously something happened.
He was probably just bragging, doing his thing. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
He's dumb. He's so dumb.
That's the main gist of the story is that AB is dumb. I didn't get Eddie's perspective on the whole business, but I'm sure he would have a funny thing. We're spitfiring here, but any other like big headlines before we get into true sports talk?
I don't really care about the baseball. That was just weird to me. Talk to you about it a little bit.
We'll talk about baseball as all
right. Any NFL things?
I just meant like headlines right now. We can obviously talk about the games and stuff, but I don't think there's any like super headlines now. It's been, like I said, it's been 2 weeks. It's hard to remember what's going on. But yeah, so the biggest headline in all, and you can come back to it, but the biggest headline of sports is the MLB. It started with just a lockdown report, but then you brought to me earlier while we were just chit-chatting some other stuff with the MLB.
Yeah, so apparently they had because of COVID, the Rawlings Baseball Distribution Center wasn't able to get all of the baseballs out for this past season. So I guess they have a number and they weren't comfortable with being able to, let me go find, I'm trying to send baby girl this picture. But let me go read what it says. So they weren't comfortable in the number of balls they had. So they had to go to use two different types of baseballs and different weight and bounciness. So this is the quote from the article I read. This is a statement from the league. They cited the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic for the situation, saying generally, balls are produced 6 to 12 months prior to being used in the game. Because Rawlings was forced to reduce capacity at its manufacturing facility due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the supply of recentered baseballs was not sufficient to cover the entirety of the 2021 season. To address this issue, Rawlings incorporated excess inventory into its shipment to clubs to provide a full complement of baseballs for the 2021 season. So what that tells me is that they had a number that wasn't enough, so they took a whole bunch of extra balls that weren't probably
the stuff that goes to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, and threw them bitches in and told nobody the whole season. That's insane. That's asinine. That's I guess that's a way to get through a pandemic, but isn't that something that you would want to let the teams be aware of?
Definitely, and they're going to get sued by the MLB for that, and they're going to lose a shit ton, and they might lose their partnership.
Maybe not the MLB. No, the MLB knew about it.
You just said they told nobody. Okay, so the MLB.
No, the MLB knew about it. The Players Association might sue the fuck out of it.
Right.
But no, the MLB. I thought
it was just Rawlings that did it. Like, oh shit, let's.
The MLB, that would be really fucked. But the MLB told none of the clubs about the decision that they made, and there was two different baseballs used, and they were both in different weight and bounciness. So that just why the home runs were so crazy. Probably at the beginning of the season, they were probably trying to get through all those shitty balls to start off the season with. Who knows, man? But that's just another thing that you look at and be like, damn it, baseball, you're the oldest, but you're the stupidest fucking rand sport we have in America right now.
Yeah, right now we don't have baseball. Baseball officially went into a lockout at midnight, Wednesday night, I believe it was, or Tuesday night, one of those two, at midnight. Yeah. And so that freezes everything. It freezes contracts. It freezes. So nobody's getting paid right now. Nobody in the MLB. And it's crazy because now I don't have insiders with the MLB. I have a few people I can text with certain things. The MLB is not one of them. But from what I can tell and what I can read and see and know, the players and the owners are way off base from each other. And they have been for a long time, and they keep patching it together for these stupid CBAs. But it doesn't look like they're going to right now. And the union is trying their best to get this thing together. But the players said, we're out, man.
They are so far off from one another that on Wednesday, prior to the 11:59 cutoff, they met each other for 7 fucking minutes. That is crazy.
And this was like 30 minutes before, like, they had to get something going.
Yeah, this was
emergency meeting in this hotel, and they were like,
and they're like, so this is what we're still gonna do. Are you guys gonna stay the same? You're not gonna change it all? All right, fuck you guys then. But hold on. Yeah. Let us take the next 5 minutes to let you know how fucking pissed off we are.
No, it probably took 5 minutes to put the proposal out.
Or for everybody to get in the room.
Well, like, they got in, they read this proposal that was probably 5 minutes long. The other side said, no. They were like, all right. And they walked out. But yeah, that's crazy. You want a counter
offer? Fuck you. We'll see you on March.
Well, they have their offers, and both of them seem to be so far that, and so far from what I know, is the players have been the only one that have ever given up concessions. Like, the owners, the NFL owners suck, but they've given a little. The NBA owners have given everything. Hockey doesn't give a fuck. They just play. I don't even know if they have a CBA. Doesn't seem like it. I think they do, but they really don't care. And then baseball, though, the owners will not budge. They won't give up anything. What's going to happen here? I mean, we're obviously
they're going to. I haven't. Baseball is the worst in being just controlled by old whites who will not give in. They don't have one Jerry Jones in the fucking owner's pit. They don't have anybody who's woke per se. So they don't want to give up shit. They still hate that they're 90 years old and they've been getting taxed for fucking 90 years of their life. Like, those are the people who are rich because they don't give up shit. And they're not willing to see the numbers. 10 years ago, baseball isn't where it's at today. And the only reason it's at today is because of the Juan Sotos, because of the fuck faces on the Padres, because of the shitheads on the Astros. These young guys coming up who are electric and getting the eye of the youth and all these people and having wives watch the games now because it's starting to get a little bit fun to watch because the pitchers are having fun. You got Joe Kelly doing pouting faces. You got them in the World Series having fun. The Braves were having fun, man. And it's coming up that these guys who aren't the Juan Sotos have been getting paid for the last 15 years, the same pay. And it hasn't went up at all in the last 5 years. And it's asinine to me that these players who really make the game tick, maybe not on the stat line, they're not going over 300, but they're getting stolen bases. The Solairs and these guys, they've been making the same pay, which isn't a lot. It's a hell of a lot more comfortable than me and you are, but it's nothing that a professional athlete who plays 162 times a year should be getting paid.
And the only way to get paid at all is to take like a 10-year contract. They're not going to pay anyone for like a 2-year, $80 million contract. They just don't do it. You have to sign you can't bet on yourself. Like if you're Corey Seager and the Dodgers lost Corey Seager, it really sucks. But he's what, like 25 years old, 26 years old, something like that. He had to sign an 8-year deal locked in at this money. It's a lot of money. But if he continues to get better the next 3 years, he's still locked into this money. He can't now go and get his super max, his super deal, because he has to sign. If he's going to make big money, it's got to be a long-term deal. And I don't think that they need to do that because Scherzer finally got the deal he wanted, and he's what, 38 or something, like he's old now. So you don't want to wait that long to have to get the deal. It's stupid. Yeah,
for sure.
I hope it changes. I hope somebody buys out. Your Fenway boys just bought out the Pirate or the Penguins. Yep. So that maybe they're trying to make some shakeups, or maybe they just knew baseball was running away and they had to jump in there and do something else. But hopefully somebody decides that they want to give some money away. And I'm kind of nervous. Just let's get back to the play on the field. I just talked about Seager and Scherzer. Both of those guys got big deals, and it's not with the Dodgers. The Mets seem just to talk about owners like that. The Mets seem to be on board. They're ready to fucking go. That they're going to play. They're signing people. They just signed some people last year, and they signed some bigger people this year. They let Thor go, and they knew it's because they wanted to go chase after Max Scherzer, and they look like they're ready to play ball.
Yeah, they're ready to set up, and we both thought they kind of stunk last year, and they even came out saying, yeah, we sucked. We weren't anywhere we wanted to be. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, shit, so they are trying to be good now. Right. And then they come out 2 days later and just start fucking throwing out money. What was it, $1.5 billion were thrown out over the last 2 weeks in baseball? So, yeah, they knew what was coming. And hopefully they're able to get something done. It's just, it sucks, man. We haven't had, 1998 or something was the players lockout?
96, maybe.
96?
It was in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a long time and a long time coming. And the way we are nowadays, we, as in just Americans, the people we are very strong-willed, and we don't have to sit behind and go home and be pissed off and just complain about how we're getting fucked over. Like, now we know we have a voice, we have a stance. Yeah. So this shit could go on for a very long time. There was 144 games played back after the lockout back then. We could have another 60-game season with how strong-willed we are nowadays and how we say fuck you to the man and demand respect and get ours.
Well, every day that goes by, the players might be losing $2 to $3 million, and that really sucks. But for every $2 to $3 million, these owners are going to be losing $20 to $30 million. So the ball's going to stay in the players' courts as long as they have the money to hang on to it. And it's going to be hard. Those mid-level, and I feel really bad for them. But like you said, those mid-level guys that might not even be mid-level guys, they were just budding superstars. They don't have that kind of money. They thought that they do. And all the guys that are to pull your bootstraps up, you just got paid $8 million. Why don't you have money? It's because they think they're going to continue to get paid $8 million. They're not living like your sorry ass in the trailer. All right. They're using their money. If you were living and then they took your $30,000 a year job away, you wouldn't have the money. All right. That's how this works. So anybody with that argument, get out of here. I don't
And
want
a lot of these people in the majors, like the Americans, whites are minorities.
Yeah.
Blacks are minorities. Like a lot of these people are Dominicans. A lot of these people come from other countries, and even the guys here, they have to work, dude. Like you're not 18 getting drafted going into the majors.
Right.
You're getting drafted when you're 18. You're mostly going to college, or you're going to go to the A league,
You're
and
making
then in
16,000 a year.
getting a fucking food card, and you go to the
Yeah.
same restaurant every day because it's free because they get paid to give you free food. It's like I've seen it here. These kids are here for a very long time making shit. Really, really love the game. Everybody that's in the major leagues, they love the game of baseball. They deserve that money. And it really sucks. I haven't really thought about a lot of these guys who are in these little leagues trying to come up, and maybe this was the year in spring training, and now they're not getting their $800 a month right now, dude.
Well, I even saw it at
Like, this
the
is
opposite
insane.
end, not even just the A. I lived next to the best AAA team for multiple years in Durham, or I didn't live in Durham.
Well, the minor league, the MILB is totally different. They're still doing their
Right.
thing, but it sucks for these guys who are
it's
about to
just
get
crazy.
called up. Now they can't
Yeah.
even think, like, now they're not even getting a call, getting ready to prepare to come up because the Phillies can't pay them to come up right now.
Right.
It's crazy.
And like the AAA guys still, like the superstars that are about to get called up, they're making a little bit more money. But there are people in the AAA making less money than I make right now.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. The best players are probably making right around what I make right now. And it really sucks. So I hope it gets fixed, but ultimately, like, they're going to play. Something's going to happen. The owners are going to lose enough money to play, but we don't know when. We'll keep you guys posted, but we don't know when. So let's shift now. Let's talk about some on the field. We've gone 40 minutes without talking about anything on the field or on the court. So let's move to on the court, because that's what I want to talk about, because the best team in the NBA is sitting in Phoenix, in my backyard.
Hey,
big backyard, but my team, at least, they just upset I guess it's not an upset, if we were the home team, but ran the Warriors out of the arena. And that was without Devin Booker for 3 quarters. Really amazing. I hope we get Booker back. He's sitting tonight against Detroit, but that's because it's a back-to-back with the Warriors tomorrow. He seems fine. I hope he's fine. He might have to sit tomorrow too, but he'll be fine. You said it in a text to me. You were like, they're going to be that under the radar 2 seed again, and nobody's worried about them. But the big thing is they expect it this year. The team does.
Yeah.
Last year, we didn't even expect it. So this year, when that buyout market comes, when those types of people start coming available, we're expected to win this year. We can actually be buyers in that market. Whereas last year we were like, we're still building these young talent. We're still trying to see. We don't know if Cameron Payne's actually anything. We don't know if Cam Johnson is going to be a bust or not. Well, now we know. We signed Mikal Bridges. We re-signed Payne. We know that Cam Johnson's going to get that rookie extension whenever that pops up, because he's the fire. And like, we're ready. So I think we're way better off this year. And it looks like, to me, I'm with you. Like, the Warriors look great. I don't expect them to stay. For me, we look like the far and away best team in the West. I'm not even worried about the West at all in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, the hardest thing for you guys the hardest thing for you guys defensively last year was matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys went to work in the offseason and really came through and overcame that. Jordan Poole started snapping, shut that shit down real quick. And even the reason he was able to do that is because you guys were focused on the key players. And hey, give Jordan Poole 20. Don't let fucking Curry get 30. Don't let Draymond Green get 15 assists. Like, if you're and you guys have gotten a lot better at that this year, just shutting down everybody under 17-game win streak. And you guys seem like the Bill Belichick of basketball right now, how you're able to take away the best players and make your third best guy beat us. I will gladly give you the dub if your third best guy can beat us.
Well, the thing is, like,
his mindset.
We have a defensive player for any person. Now, whoever's getting guarded by Booker is going to light it up. That's just the way it's going to be. But if the guard is the best player, we're going to put Chris Paul on them. If the forward is the best player, we're going to put Bridges on him. And if the center's the best player, Ayton is really starting to come into his own. But then we still have McGee right behind him that's a better defensive player than he is even. And so like we have a spot for everybody, no matter who we're playing against. We can do exactly what you said and lock down the best player. And if Jordan Poole is going to drop 28 on us, but it means that Curry shot 3 for 20, then by all means, have at us, dude. We don't care. And it wasn't even a game. Like I think it ended like right around double digits, maybe even single digits, but we didn't care. It was an easy win. We didn't have any problems. If Booker would have been there the whole time, he was on fire too. So it would have been a wrap. We'll see what happens tomorrow in Oracle or Chase Center now. Sorry, in San Francisco. What we do to them, and we might lose. I told Eddie at the beginning of the week, he was like, "Well, you guys play a really tough schedule this week," and I said, "Yeah, Friday night is the night our streak ends." I called that on Monday. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's where our streak is going to end, is in San Francisco. But like I said, over a 7-game series, I'm not really worried about the West. When we move back east, though, we can come back west just to laugh at LeBron for a second. But right before we do that, let's move to the east and talk about good teams still. And I want to start with your team, man. Mobley came back, and you guys snapped a losing streak that looked great. Now, you guys don't look like the best anymore. Injuries, of course, continue to mar you guys for years. But with Mobley, with Kevin Love looking the way he did, you guys are starting to look like a team that could actually compete. I don't think it's this year. I don't think that you're going to be some Cinderella, make it to the championship the way the Heat did in the bubble. But you guys now have the making of a team that can make a run towards a championship, instead of the team that's like the 76ers trust the process kind of team. You guys actually have a squad now.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to be in runs for a championship here in the next couple of years, but we can definitely be that team that's able to knock off teams. Teams looking into getting into the play-in games, kind of shut them down. All right, we have to win out these last 5 games. Well, if you play the Cavs in those last 5 games, you're not going to win out there, buddy. And we're going to knock you off. Yeah, I feel like we're going to be in that play-in this year. I feel like we have a chance. We're 12-10 right now. We have a nice little run coming up. We play the Wizards in Utah coming up. But we've beaten both of those teams this year. So I'm not really worried about these next 2 games. Yeah, they're tough. Yeah, they have games on us now. They have film. But we're able to play. We got Marketing back. And he's been a really nice hole to fill. Isaac Okoro, who I thought was a better draft pick than Colin Sexton. Shout out to Colin Sexton. Season-ending surgery he had. It sucks. He was having a great year for us. Really came out and was buying into the team aspect this year. And it wasn't just him shooting up a lot of shots. He kind of waited till the second half to start doing that dumb shit. Let us kind of get our offense flowing first, and then kind of do some ISO plays there in the second half, which I was appreciative of him being a little more patient in that aspect. But he's gone now. So Garland has stepped the fuck up. But I like the fact that a lot of these guys, Dean Wade's hurt now as well a little bit, but a lot of these guys have been stepping up and really playing up to the role that we need them to play, and not trying to do the most. Chetty Osman, one of my favorite guys, but he's kind of got lost in the sauce because when he gets on the court, he just turns into a black hole, it seems like. But with all the injuries, he's starting to play into his role. And yeah, I like what we're able to do. We're playing big man basketball in a league that has a lot of shooters. And we have Ricky Rubio, we have Darius Garland, we have guys who can do that as well. So in our mindset, you got to keep up with our big men. And we don't think you can do that. So if we can score 100, you got to score 102. And we don't see that happening. And we're able to put up 110, 120 points as well if we have to.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm with you. I don't think the championship is there. And it looks like the East big players are starting to get it back. The Nets have gone on their little run. They're first place now. The Bucks, until Giannis undisclosed, sat tonight, but they were on a little bit of a roll doing their thing. They're going to climb back up to the top. But even with all these heavy hitters moving back up, the Chicago Bulls are still that team. They just went into New York, into Madison Square Garden, and won a close one against the Knicks. And that's weird to say, the Bulls and the Knicks for a good game. But
since you said DeMar DeRozan was not a guy, he has been the best player on that team for the last 10 games.
I gave Zach LaVine those props.
Has been,
and then DeMar said, "What?"
He has been going nuts. 36 points, I think, 6 assists, 8 boards tonight, if I read the stat line right. Just
I
the
still
kids
haven't put him on any of my fantasy teams, by the way.
same. The kid's going absolutely freaking vintage Toronto out there. And yeah, he's proven me right.
But I think it's because he's not that guy. I'm telling you, I think it's because he's not that guy. When he was in Toronto, it was Kyle Lowry getting some defensive and him getting some defensive like looks. When he went to San Antonio, he was the only guy. He's getting locked down. He comes back over here. Zach LaVine's getting some defensive looks. So now he gets those one-on-ones again, and he gets to school these kids in the mid-range, and that's what he's doing. LaVine is shooting like 40% from three. He's still the guy. I'm still saying he's the guy. He put up like almost a triple-double tonight too, so it wasn't like it was just a DeMar DeRozan show. But those two guys together, and then you put in Caruso off the bench. Lonzo, I think, is coming off the bench right now, or maybe he's just okay, good.
Kobe White started a game because Lonzo was hurt or some shit, or Caruso was hurt.
Gotcha. And Vucevic is coming out here and making his Orlando self look good again. They are truly a team to beat. It's going to be kind of crazy, and nobody's going to bet on them. They're never going to get bet, but
they need a shooter. They need a shooter in the back end. They need a JJ Redick
doing right now.
They need a JJ Redick type 6-man to come out there. Like a Seth Curry's balling his fucking ass off at the start of the lineup.
Yeah, there's
right
no
now,
way that they're gonna give.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably looking back at the first 6 years of his career, seeing like, told y'all I was being played wrong. Put me in the lineup, coach.
Right,
man. But no, they need Seth Curry the first 3-4 years of his career, or JJ Redick his last 6-7 years. Get a 6-man in there that can drop 12-15 from behind the three and give them a little push. Because when it comes down to a 7-game series against the Nets, against the Bucks, they're definitely going to need some deep three action going on. And Zach LaVine cannot be the only guy able to put it in beyond the arc.
Yeah, no, I'm very impressed by the Bulls. I said I was impressed after that first week, but all those other teams that we were quote unquote impressed with have started to fall, have started to go. The heavy hitters, like I said, are going, but the Bulls could have that number 1 seed when it's all said and done, if the Nets slip up at all, because the 76ers and the Bucks have both already slipped up. They had not great early seasons, so that they've already slipped, and they're going to have to grind their way back. So the Bulls could sneak up in there and have home field or home court all the way through. And if they do, man, that's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough.
Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Westbrook going to LA. That really saved Chicago a lot.
Yeah, it did.
A lot. Hey, and how about getting us into the West tonight? If you bet the Grizzlies spread, you won by a lot.
You won in the first 2 minutes, and it was game over.
159 to like 72 or some shit like it was.
I saw it was 103 to 50. That was so 152 to 79. Yeah, that was the final. They did not take their foot off the gas, man. I mean, Santi Aldama came out here and balled out on these guys, and I don't even know who that guy is. I just know he's up 11 times his value in FanDuel. So good for the 1% of or 0.1% of people that got him.
Right.
Probably nobody got him except people living in Memphis. But man, that's crazy. And Memphis is pretty good too. But before we move on, I was being honest when I said we're gonna swing back around and talk about how bad the Lakers are. Should they trade LeBron James? Should they get what they can out of this man? They're not going to win for the rest of his contract. I'm telling you, it's done. It's a done deal.
Yeah, they need to get rid of LeBron. That team is going to be ass. He's not going to be able to maintain his health, for one, just to be able to keep playing. And for two, thank goodness they're never going to be able to gel with him on the court.
Yeah,
the wins with him off the court are going to go up. The wins with him not on the court are going to go down, and it's going to become a distraction. And they might end up not even making the playoffs. Like, honestly, they could get lost in the dust, or they can get flopped out in the first round. Worst case scenario, them not making the playoffs. Best case scenario, they make it a round or two. But yeah, that put it down now. If you could bet money on a team not making the championship, I'd put all my gooses in that basket for sure.
They probably have a not making the championship. That's probably one. And you might actually get good odds on the Lakers because for whatever reason, Vegas is always gonna love LeBron James. Yeah. So before we go and make our picks, we've been going really, really long. Or we're right around the time, and I'm fine going really, really long. But I want to make sure we touch stuff because we've been going college football for the last month now. I want to shout out real quick the Detroit Red Wings. We're still doing well. I said early on in the season, I said I wanted to shout out the Red Wings, and it would be the last time I would be able to before we fell off the wagon. Yep. So far, December has started. We have not fallen off the wagon yet. We're 4th place in our division. I don't know how many teams make the playoffs. They changed it up with COVID, and then they decided to keep the weird change up. So I don't really know. But we're 4th in the Atlantic or Metropolitan or whatever one we are in. But we're behind like Toronto and some other guys. But I was happy because we got our 3,000th win. And I was super excited. We got the 3,000th win. We're one of the 4 teams to have ever gotten the 3,000 win mark. And we did it against Boston. We did it at Boston. Boston is one of the teams with 3,000 wins. So I was very happy. Huh?
We're hot. We were 8-3 last time I looked.
Yeah, we're like what, 12 something?
9-3 now. So we're 4-1 in the last 5.
We did it at Boston. I was super excited because Boston, fuck Boston, not the city. I love the city. You have your team, but the Boston Bruins can go suck on one. They're idiots.
I just love the Sox. Fuck
and,
I don't like anything else.
And so I was super happy, right? And I was like, we did it in Boston. And so I went and I looked at the standings. We're above Boston. Like I shouldn't have even been so excited. We were supposed to beat Boston. That's what we do. And it's super exciting to see that we're continuing to look good. We have really good young talent. Our hockey consultant, Eddie, continues to let me know how we're doing because all I ever know is if we win or not. That's what pops up on my phone.
I'm done.
He tells us how good we're doing.
I'm done betting on the Red Wings. I bet on them twice just to win, and they tied twice. They've only tied 3 times all season. They've drawn. Sorry, I stopped saying twice. They tied twice, but yeah, they drew twice. Only happened 3 times this season so far, and 2 times when I put money on them. So yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah, that sucks. So do you have any NFL just big like on-field stories we want to talk about before we make our NCAA picks? I think it's still just rolling. Really. I mean, the NFC sucks. All the NFC sucks. Sorry, Arizona fans, but the NFC sucks. And the AFC sucks. I think everybody just sucks right now. The freaking Ravens are on top of the AFC. Maybe they suck more than the NFC. I don't even know.
No, the Patriots have the best.
They're tied, I think. They're both 8-3, right? Or 8.
But I think the Patriots beat the Ravens.
Oh, gotcha.
So they're like leading the AFC right now, which is crazy. Gotcha. Started out 1-3. They're hot. Colts 1-5. They're hot. Lost to you guys in a fucking game, bro.
They didn't hand Jonathan Taylor the ball.
I
don't know what was happening, but they let Carson try to beat us, and it wasn't going to work out. But yeah,
it was close. He had like 41. Yeah, it was stupid. That was a game. But fuck. Do the Lions get a win this week? I'm trying to figure out who they play. I saw it.
No, they're gonna get their butts kicked. Who
are they playing? The Vikings. Yeah, they're playing the Vikings. No Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, they're gonna get destroyed.
Vikings at home.
The Detroit, man, they're bad.
You think they're gonna get destroyed?
Yeah, the Vikings are they're gonna just get schooled. I'm telling you, Kirk Cousins is gonna throw for like 500 yards.
Damn it, man! I hate when that happens.
What?
The lineup. So I did a lineup for 5K to first, right? First place or 73 points would have me at $21 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have it in a different lineup. You have to have 78 to win. I have 73.2.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you didn't pick Jay Crowder for your lineup.
I'd be making 13-13. Sorry.
Jay Crowder started the game. He has 2 points and 2 rebounds for a solid 4.5 points. Good job, Jay Crowder.
That's crazy.
Why did
I put Mark Ingram as my 2 times points? And he only has 3. He's the least. Oh my God, I suck at this.
I suck at it too.
That's what I have. NFL sucks this season. It's been
All
weird.
the teams in the NFL suck this season.
It's been weird, dude. It's been extremely weird. At the beginning of the season, there was 3 or 4 teams that had solid chances to go undefeated. Like not solid chances, but had talks of it. And now all these games are low scoring. It doesn't matter what's going on. These lines don't matter. These spreads don't really matter. Anything can fucking happen. The fucking Bengals tore down the Steelers after I was
That
ready
was
to call
nice.
after I was ready to call the Bengals out of it. Their defense just looks stupid, and they made the Steelers look even more stupid.
Yeah.
Cowboys, they don't have an
They're
identity
falling
right
off.
now.
Yeah.
They're trying to find it. It seems like they just need to ship Zeke off and make Pollard their guy. He just can't get it going. And it seems like every time CD starts getting the ball a lot more, that team just starts to lose. They need to keep Coop in the game plan. The more he gets the ball, the more they do good. That first game of the season, he had like 14 targets, and I think he probably has 15 the rest of the season so far.
Yeah. It sucks. He's on my fantasy team.
Oh, really?
He's sitting on my bench now because I got smart finally. But
yeah, it's just been an odd season, and hey, I'm here for it, dude. The Jaguars aren't in any headlines. We're not anything. We suck. But I've enjoyed this season so far. I've enjoyed turning on Red Zone. There's a lot of great games every single game, and the Bears and Cardinals are playing this weekend. We might have Kyler and D-Hop. We might not. But either way, I think that game's going to be a close one. And the Bears suck. But it's just the football season this year is really weird, and it's been entertaining as hell to watch.
yeah, it has. Even if you are a fan of the Bucks, like I am, that we're expected to go undefeated and win the whole thing, we're not. We don't look that great. It's still been really exciting. It's been a lot of fun games, and we still have the chance, obviously, to go all the way. So it's really fun. So yeah,
ESPN either needs to spice up the Manning cast or just get rid of it. It's starting to get boring.
I've never seen it. I see the highlights on Reddit, so I probably see all the funny stuff that happens, and that's it.
It was awesome. Sorry, I need to stop shaking my leg on the camera. It was awesome for a little bit, but it's just starting to get a little stagnant now.
It's hard. We've been doing this for 3 years. We're pretty stagnant now too.
Oh yeah, I did. One night I was drunk on Facebook, and I went to share something onto our page, and I saw the About Me info, and I saw that I wasn't on there, so I had to go add a little.
Was Eddie still on there?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I kept him. He's still an OG.
Good.
He's a founder, but it was a every week contributor, so I had to backspace that.
So you were on there. You're just
no, I wasn't on there. I had to add me in.
Oh, Eddie was on there as an every week contributor.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so we're gonna shift to the football picks, and for sake of time, we're just gonna do the ones that have playoff implications, and then we can make our upset picks as always.
We're not gonna do every. This isn't championship weekend. What is this?
This is championship weekend, but we're not gonna do like Oregon at Utah because nobody cares. It's not gonna make anybody.
Not? Utah's gonna beat the shit out of Oregon.
Well, that's your upset pick then. But anyways, we're gonna do the ones that have the college football invitational. You don't want to talk about Appalachian State and the Louisiana Raging Cajuns? Is Napier still coaching the game?
Pretty sure he is. Yeah.
Or is he gone? All right. Well,
better be. Hey, if he's not coaching that game, I don't want him. Don't be a fucking sellout. Finish what you signed up to do, boy.
Right. Do what you started. All right. So we start out with the Big 10 or Big 12 championship. Baylor, Oklahoma State, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship from Jerry World in Arlington, Texas. Who do you got? Number 9 Baylor. Will they upset Oklahoma State, or will Oklahoma State be right there ready to get into the playoffs if anything crazy happens?
I don't know, man. This is a tough one. It really is a tough one. The spread is not that big.
Right.
Baylor,
less than a touchdown.
It's just, is Oklahoma State going to be able to stop that running game, or is Baylor going to be able to stop that running game? And I don't know too much about either of these fucking teams, except that Oklahoma State can run the ball and Baylor doesn't allow people to score that much.
Well, Oklahoma State doesn't either, which is what's crazy. Like, when have you last seen a Big 12 championship that's got an over under of 46?
46.
Normally it's like 60.
I just looked at that. So yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't call it cotton, but I don't know. In games like these, you can't help but think Vegas knows something, right? Like if it's only a 5.5 spread, then they have to feel like there's a chance for Baylor to do something. and they're trying to keep it close because they really feel like, I don't know, man. Yeah, let's go Oklahoma State to win this one.
I think Oklahoma State's going to win too.
Just
but
because I've depended on Baylor too many times this year and they shot me in the fucking leg.
Baylor has gotten me, I think, 2 upset picks already this year, but Oklahoma State
What are they? They've lost twice, right? Baylor's lost twice.
Baylor's lost twice.
And I think I picked them twice to win.
Yeah, games. I think so. But Oklahoma State is sniffing the playoffs, man. If they win big, well, if they win and everybody else wins, they still have a chance, or at least they can walk into the courtroom with an argument against Cincinnati. But again, we hope Cincinnati, if they're undefeated, is in there. But Oklahoma State would have a puncher's chance. If they win and anyone ahead of them loses, then they're pretty much automatically in there, unless it's Georgia that was the team that lost.
So Oklahoma State's undefeated? This should say
no. They lost 0-0. Once. Oklahoma State lost once.
Oh. See, this is so Cincinnati needs to come out. Who are they playing?
Houston. We'll get there, bro.
All right.
But yeah, Oklahoma State.
All right, Baylor by fucking 20.
All right, just end all doubt. Well, let's.
I suck. So I'm gonna put money on Oklahoma State to win. That's how we're gonna get Baylor.
That's how we're gonna do it. All right.
Yeah, Oklahoma State by 50. Call it.
Well,
I'm putting that in the universe now.
Well, let's move on to the game that would affect, obviously, and that's Houston and Cincinnati, the American Athletic Championship. This does not have a neutral site game. This goes to the best team. It's going to Cincinnati. They're going to be in Cincinnati for this game.
I love that.
Houston's 11-1. Cincinnati's undefeated. Cincinnati's looking for a ranked win. Obviously, they beat Notre Dame in South Bend, but that is it. So Houston will tack on another rank. But the problem is, if they beat Houston will be unranked, and then the committee, they'll say that they have no ranked wins. But anyways, we both
Who
have
did Houston
Cincinnati,
lose to? SMU?
No, Houston beat SMU. They lost to a non-conference game. They're undefeated in the American. They lost Texas or somebody like that. They lost to somebody good. Texas Tech. They lost to Texas Tech.
Oh, okay. Hey, let's go, Cincy. So if they fucking roll them, they're opened up at 10.5.
Yeah, I don't know if they 10.5 these boys, but maybe.
I don't
know. Houston's good, dude. But I said that again about SMU. I picked my upset pick as SMU, and I think Cincinnati won by like 40. So
yeah, I picked SMU's running back to snap on my fucking.
And they didn't do shit, bro.
Nope. He had like 3 points.
I think they had like 3 points as a team. They didn't do anything. But yeah, we both think Cincinnati's gonna win here, right? So if Cincinnati wins, are they still going to have to hope that Georgia beats Alabama?
I don't think so. So last weekend, they really picked up the fucking pace. We weren't able to talk about it. You texted it to me. It's like, hey, they finally learned. That's how Florida was able to do it back in what was it? Both years actually, pretty much 2006 and 2008. 2008 especially, we lost early to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then we just started fucking clinics every Saturday. We gave every team a clinic. Yep. And that's pretty much how we went through Alabama. 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 Clinic. Like, you'll never see a player play as hard as you'll never see a team. Yeah. But clinics. And that's what they finally realized last week. We have to put on clinics. We don't have a loss like the Gators did both years. But we're going to put on fucking clinics and we're going to get shit done. And that's what they did last week against
East Carolina.
And I almost said Tulane, but I knew I was wrong. That was the week before where they didn't put on a fucking clinic. And I think they'll be able to do the same against a team that's really good in Houston and who a couple years ago seemed like they were going to start hitting that Cincy trajectory. It looked like there was going to be both of them.
Yeah.
And Houston's kind of been left in the dust.
Yeah, it's crazy that number 21 and 11-1 is left in the dust, but that's the nature of the AAC, the group of 5. But yeah, I think Cincinnati is going to win, but I think they're going to be sweating out Sunday. If Alabama loses, they'll be fine. And that's still what they're hoping for, by the way, because if Alabama wins, they will be in, Georgia will be in, Cincinnati will be the 4 seed at best. You don't want to be the 4 seed. You talked about it with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
If Alabama loses, Cincinnati can move up in the 3rd, avoid the Bulldogs, and just move with what they need to do. Potentially second, because we'll talk about Iowa in a second. They're pretty good, but yeah, I think Cincinnati's going to be scared. If Alabama wins, they are going to be scared because Oklahoma State will have a resume that they can tout. And for some reason, even though Houston lost their opening week against Texas Tech and then has won 11 games since, the committee's going to say Houston's a nobody, and that doesn't help your strength of schedule. It's kind of crazy, but I can foresee that happening, and I can foresee Cincinnati being fifth with Oklahoma State sitting there at 4. I could see it. It'd be pretty crazy.
I just don't think that they can argue that anymore. There's been too many times. There's been way too many times, and it's just gotten louder and louder and louder every single year. And no knock on UCF in 2017, but this seems to be the loudest. That it's gotten more so because of that 2017 team and what they were able to do to Auburn, a really good fucking football team that was supposed to blow us out. Vegas gave us no shot in that game at all, and without the big guy. So I mean, we should be happy if Cincy gets in, because the argument has only gotten louder in the last 4 years, and it started firing up even more so 4 years ago, and it started again last year. And I think there's no way the committee can escape it now.
Well, are you a conspiracy theorist when it comes to the college football playoff? Do you think that they are out to get certain teams at all?
No, they're just paid off. They're just paid off by the Power Five.
Okay, well, that's fine. But if they are out to get the group of 5 teams, then what's going to happen is Cincinnati is going to be 4th place. And they're going to have to play Georgia, and they're going to lose by like 50, which they might not. We'll talk about that if that's the game that happens. And I think they have a chance. But if Georgia rolls them out of the thing, then the committee can sit back and go, this is why we never put these fools in here.
Yeah, they could definitely Notre Dame them motherfuckers and do that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's
I don't see it being a roll with Georgia.
I don't think it would be either,
but I don't see them getting Notre Dame. They could potentially lose that game. Cincinnati doesn't make a lot of mistakes,
right?
But when they do, it's hard for them to overcome.
That's true.
Against a Georgia team, they would have to play a perfect game for them to be able to win, and they're winning by 3 points.
Right. All right. So we think Cincinnati is going to get it. We think they're going to make the playoff. We hope that they make the playoff. But I do think a lot is riding on this next game, and that is Georgia and Alabama. And the reason I think that Cincinnati makes it is because I think Georgia rolls through Alabama just like they have rolled through everyone else. Listen, Nick Saban is a great coach. He can prepare for teams. He knows what he's doing. Alabama has not looked good this year. They haven't. I'm not even going to put a game out there that they looked great in. They lost to Texas A&M. They almost lost to LSU. They lost to Auburn and came away with an overtime victory somehow. They have lost more games and looked like they were going to lose more games than they should have. Ole Miss played them hard. Georgia has not been played hard. Nobody's played hard against Georgia. They've just run through, and Auburn is going to lose. What's the spread? Because I would bet that right now. It's 6.5. Oh yeah, Georgia's going to easily clear 6.5. It's going to be a shit show. Alabama's not going to be able to hold up to Georgia basically at home. I mean, I know that Tuscaloosa is very used to the Georgia Dome, or the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, sorry. But Georgia is coming right down from Athens, and they're going to be playing at home, and it's going to be crazy. They're going to roll.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking about putting money on that now that you said that.
Dude, they're going to beat 6.5. It's Georgia. Kirby Smart takes everything personally, dude. He does not believe, or he believes he has the best team, but he doesn't want to listen to this Nick Saban crap. He doesn't want to listen to this Alabama stuff. He takes everything personal, and he's not going to take his foot off the gas. We've seen it before with him. He's just not going to take his foot off the gas. He's going to keep going. And if they're up 15 with the ball, in 2 minutes, he's going to try to get up 22 with the ball, or like with no time left. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna do it.
I hope so. And it's crazy because Alabama's always been good, and they've always been consistently good at the quarterback position.
Right.
They have great wide receivers. Dude, their wide receiver that got knocked out of the game on what was it, the kick return or a punt return or something?
Yep.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Man, he's tried to smack the shit out of dude and got smacked himself.
Yeah.
And he was still out there celebrating with the team after the dub, which was awesome to see. But,
how did Auburn lose that game, bro?
Bro, I don't know. I even went on. I put money on. I thought they were going to win that game. I really did. I thought they were going to win that game, but they're not good at quarterback. Bryce Young is not the guy. I feel like we're going to see another true freshman next year, or he's hoping that their backup quarterback gets a spark under his ass, because there's not a bad quarterback at Alabama. It's just Bryce Young. Bryce Young would elevate any other football team.
Yeah, Bryce Young's good.
He's just not an Alabama quarterback. And it's hard for that coaching staff. It's not who is it now? Peterson. Like Doug Peterson he didn't work with Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's in fucking Alabama now. So that's not working for him. So he's gonna have to figure out another quarterback or another offensive coordinator and move on.
I thought Brian Kelly or whatever his name is was there. The Texans guy. What's his name?
Oh yeah, it is Brian. Yeah.
Is that his name, Brian Kelly?
No. Fuck no. That's the Notre Dame guy.
Yeah, what's the Texans guy?
He's a fucking schmuck. God damn.
O'Brien. Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien, yeah. And then the defensive coordinator, Doug Peterson's down. Oh no, not Doug Peterson. My old fucking Doug Marone's like the offensive line coach or some shit. But they're gonna have to figure something out, because that Bryce Young thing is not working out for that team, and they've been having to scrap a lot more than we've seen in the last 10 years.
And props to them, they're scrappy, and that's Nick Saban saying, "Oh shit, now I actually have to coach." All right. Yeah. And he's still proven to everybody that he's an amazing coach, but normally he gets to win on talent. Now he's not doing it. He's winning because he's actually a good coach. And we haven't seen that since LSU. So that's kind of fun to see. So the last game with playoff implications is my upset pick of the week as well. So you guys will know who I'm picking, obviously. Michigan is facing Iowa in the Big Ten championship. This is a huge game. And I think because all the other games will be done and people will be trying to pick in their head what's going to happen. How is the playoffs going to end up? And then Michigan's going to blow it. And they're going to lose to Iowa. I have Iowa coming out here. They are actually, I think, the biggest spread too. Maybe.
No, everyone's
Oklahoma
right now,
State
10.5.
You're going? Oh, okay. So, but I think Iowa's going to come out here and they're going to play hard. They're going to play big. They've lost a couple games to some good teams, just like everybody else in the Big Ten. That's the way it happens. Purdue is not bad. And then to go at Wisconsin, that's not hard or not bad either. They had a couple tough losses, but they've been beating good teams. They beat Penn State. They beat Iowa State. They beat all these good teams. They're going to face Michigan really tough. And I think Iowa is going to come away with the upset here and pretty much secure the top four for the playoffs after that. But up until that point, everybody's going to be thinking like, what's going to happen? But in the home that Peyton built, Iowa's going to come out and do their thing.
The home that Peyton built. I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Ooh.
No.
Harbaugh didn't blow his load with Ohio State?
Fuck no, dude. No, that team showed that team's a squad this year, dude. And everybody's been the writers and everybody. Every week they're going to fall off. Every week they're going to fall off.
I don't think they're going to fall off. I think Iowa's going to step up.
And but man, that team's so good and they're so well coached. And that for him to get that monkey off his back, like John Harbaugh has his swagger back.
Jim Harbaugh.
We have Jim Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh has no swagger. He's never had swagger.
We haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, he was running up and down the sideline, like actually like cheering and yelling.
Last time the guy had swagger, he was in the fucking Super Bowl.
Yep.
He's got a swagger back. They're going to beat them by fucking like 20, 30 points. Yeah, they're going to end up the 2 seed and they're going to get fucking whopped by Cincinnati in the playoffs.
All right. So that leads, I just made my upset pick, 13-2. Is your upset pick actually what Baylor? You said earlier, Utah over Oregon, or is it going to be Baylor? I guess that would be an upset as well.
I'm gonna take Baylor. Utah over Oregon. What am I saying?
That could totally happen. I could see that for sure. They're playing this is their first ever Pac-12 championship at Las Vegas, I think, at the Raiders place.
Oh, that'll be dope.
Yeah,
Let's see
that'll
what
be
the
pretty
odds
cool.
are on that.
2.5
Utah's
Utah.
favored, bro.
You always take these underdog favorites, or
I didn't know they were favored.
I didn't know that either. That's sad towards Oregon, man. That sucks for Oregon.
I mean, I'm gonna put money on it. I gotta put my money where my mouth is, but I'm only gonna win $3 off of 5.
All right. So after all is said and done, you're sitting here on Sunday. You're the selection committee. I don't need your descriptors or your reasons or anything. Just give me 1 through 4 and tell me what you think it's going to end up.
Georgia, Michigan, Cincy, Bama.
Ooh, okay. I think it's going to be Georgia, Cincy. No. Hold on. Georgia, Oklahoma State at number 2, then Cincy at number 3, and Ohio State is going to be number 4 because Alabama is going to lose so hard to Georgia that they're going to fall like a fucking rock. But that brings me to my second question here. So if what I say happens and Iowa loses, if Alabama gets routed, let's just, for the sake of argument, it's not going to happen this way, but for sake of argument, they lose by like 60. Like they're out of our conversation.
Yeah.
Michigan loses to Iowa. So now pretty much a 2-loss non-champ has to get in. Will the head-to-head put Michigan in over Ohio State, or will the recent loss put Ohio State still ahead of Michigan? I guess head-to-head would have to count at that point, right?
Yeah, head-to-head would count. Ohio State has no chance.
So Michigan's my 4th team then. I think head-to-head would count too then. And Iowa's not going to climb up enough. So
yeah, Ohio State has no chance to get in, especially the way that loss went. And even if Iowa fucking blew the roof off of Michigan, there's no way
Michigan would still stay ahead of Ohio State.
Yeah.
And if Baylor beats Oklahoma State, they should jump Ohio State as the champ too. Also, right? So Ohio State shouldn't get in. I agree with you there. So anyway, Michigan will be my 2nd team or 4th team. No, because they won't do it. Alabama will be over Michigan. Fuck, I didn't want to put Alabama in. All right, it's going to be Georgia, then Oklahoma State, then Cincinnati, then Alabama. So we're almost equal. You have Michigan, I have Oklahoma State, but otherwise we are equal on the rest. All right, cool. Good to know. So,
hey, I like the fact that you have Oklahoma State and Cincy in, because I think Cincy is most nervous about Oklahoma State.
And I think they will jump them. That's something I'm actively making happen in my head. I think they will jump. That's why I think Cincinnati needs Alabama to lose, because if Alabama beats Georgia, then Alabama would jump to number 1. Michigan, if they win, would be number 2. Georgia would be number 3. And I think Oklahoma State will jump Cincinnati. So Cincinnati wants Alabama.
Do you really think that this committee would set up another Alabama SEC championship story again? Like that shit's played out, bro.
If Alabama wins, they're number 1.
Sad face.
Yeah, if Alabama wins the SEC, they're number 1. They could have 3 losses and somehow still squeak their way in. If they win the SEC, they're number 1, and we'll continue on our way. So let's get out of here. We're probably about 20 minutes over time. We love you guys.
Wow, really?
If you are sitting here listening to all this, we love you. But do you have something cool to get out of here with?
Not really cool.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
I don't think we ever get out of here about sports anymore.
I know.
Oh yeah, actually, I will get out of here about sports.
Nice.
But one thing I will say before we do get out of here on the sports note. All right, wait.
It better be Taco Fall, bro.
Oh no, it's not Taco Fall.
Well, then let's give his shout out first.
Shout out to Taco Fall. Absolutely. So he's Cavs 2-way contract, can't get a fucking NBA contract, which is kind of pissing me off. He puts asses in the seats.
And now he's putting points in the basket, son.
Yeah, he's good. He's putting ball in basket to create the points. Yes, you are right. He averaged 22 points and 12 rebounds a game. And got player of the week.
And that was through 3 games, right?
Yeah. And that's good numbers. And what that tells me is he's getting footwork, something the guy's never had. He gets the ball, turns around, puts it down. He's not used to defenders being in spots to where he can't just turn around. And so now he's learning to get in position, work them feet, put ball in basket, grab the ball, pass it to the point guard, hobble your tall ass down the court, repeat, rinse. do that shit.
And on defense, he is so rock solid. He's averaging like 2.5 blocks a game, which is what he's done all his life because he's 7'7", but he's still doing it at NBA level. Like,
yeah. So the fact that we have him, and if he can keep producing like that, he will definitely find himself on a 15 to 20 minute rotation on our lineup very easily with the mindset JB has going into his game plans. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, definitely. I'm happy you remember because we always text each other afterwards with the shit
that we forgot something.
Definitely wanted to talk about. Yeah. But no, just always be there for the people you love. That thing, all that shit. Love one another. Everybody love everybody. But no, I do have this. Savage as shit. So last weekend, we weren't able to talk about the game that was the Packers and the Rams. OBJ coming out good. Von Miller came out, and that game was supposed to be something. It really wasn't much of anything at all. I think the Packers ended up winning that, making them the number one team in the power rankings coming in to this NFL week here. But where did it go? So, holy shit, where did it go? Here it is. So, OBJ came up to Devontae Adams after the game.
Savage. I love it.
Yes, after the game and asked about doing a jersey trade. And he denied him and stuff, and the reporter saw it. So he went up to the guy afterwards. Oh, Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin saw it. So after the game, they were talking and stuff, and he told him, he's like, yeah, he said he needed a jersey after the game. I told him go get Cooper Kupp jersey since that's who you want to be with. That is so savage.
Awesome.
I love it.
That should have given Adams like 5 more points in my fantasy league and won me the game.
Yeah, right. Just 5+ points, savage bonus.
Right.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Be like Devontae Adams. Stick with your guns, man. Don't sell out. If you really want somebody, if you really want something, and you're not able to get it, and it's because of something certain or something you know about, and it could have been changed, but you did everything you could, and you see that thing to your face, you call it out, you let it be known how you feel. It's 2021. You have a right to your words, and you say what you want to say, and you be a stud and not a scrub.